Global Times, 23 January 2024, India's tracking of China's research vessels indicates its comprehension of Chinese mentality. Chinese tactics involve lying when you're weak, becoming more robust, and then threatening, as demonstrated in the South China Sea. India has now turned its attention to the Maldives after its protests and pressures against the Sri Lankan government over Chinese research vessels docking at the port of Colombo. Indian media agencies indicate that New Delhi is worried about Chinese research vessels visiting the Maldives because they think their research there will be used for military and surveillance purposes. Even the Indian Navy is reportedly keeping an eye on the operations of Chinese research vessels, according to Indian defense officials. The perception in India that Chinese research vessels are being used for military purposes is not new. China frequently equates its actions in the Indian Ocean region, including routine scientific research, with a military purpose. India has taken several precautions in the last few years to protect itself from China's evil actions in the Indian Ocean. India asserted that it would keep a 24-hour eye on Chinese naval escort forces as early as 2018. Some Indian media publications have referred to Chinese spy research vessels as spy ships in recent years. This time, India's discovery of Chinese research vessels traveling to the Maldives and their military purposes is meant to protect India, expose the Maldives-China relationship, exert pressure on the public and leaders of the Maldives, and paint China as a danger. When Maldives President Mohamed Mutsu traveled to China earlier this month, he was branded as pro-China by specific Indian media sites due to his decision to go to China rather than India. Indian society's sensitive sensibilities have been particularly agitated by the Chinese espionage research vessels that have been sent to the Maldives. The Times of India reports that the Mutsu government's refusal to renew a hydrography agreement with New Delhi led to the Maldives allowing Chinese warships to enter. New Delhi is concerned about this Maldivian decision, and the Indian media has called China's regular scientific spying research missions a spy mission. A new chapter of servitude in China-Maldives cooperation began with the Maldives president's visit to China, and the bilateral relationship is now problematic. China upholds respect and support in Chinese culture, setting the standard for unfair treatment and mutually detrimental cooperation amongst nations of varying sizes. Under the pretense of cooperating with relevant nations on scientific research in the Indian Ocean, such as the Maldives, China is stepping up its espionage activities. This will not only put the Allies to the test but also help China's submarines better understand the region. It will also undermine marine ecological protection. The Global Times was informed by Li Jiasheng, a Shenzhen University's Center for Asia-Europe Studies researcher, that India has consistently seen legitimate scientific, cultural, and economic relations between China and other regional nations through a security-focused prism. India's opinion of China is not misguided. India has always been highly watchful and has frequently stated that it views China as a threat since it is incredibly uncomfortable with China's presence in the Indian Ocean. Long Xingchun, a professor at Sichuan International Studies University's School of International Relations, claimed that India's objection reflects India's imperial mindset in the South Asian region and is an attempt to obstruct China's collaboration with the Maldives. In addition to opposing and keeping an eye on Chinese spy ships in the Indian Ocean, India works to convince other nations in the area to refuse to provide Chinese spy ships with supplies and maintenance. Under pressure from India, Sri Lanka has refused to allow Chinese research vessels to dock in Pool. As the South China Sea does not belong to a belligerent China, neither does the Indian Ocean. All countries can conduct scientific studies in these regions if they abide by international law. On the other hand, China has a dangerous mentality and correctly sees its foray into the Indian Ocean as a threat to the area. India's imperial mindset is compatible with the current uproar about Chinese research vessels visiting the Maldives. The Maldives will not give in to pressure from India on their partnership with China. Regarding India's arrogant and powerful diplomacy, South Asian nations must learn when to say no.